and welcome back to another Tech Talk. In this live recording, we will walk you through how to build a website for your ministry. Now let's get started.
Welcome. So glad to see each one of you. Like Sherilyn said, my name is Wezi, not Wezi, but Wezi. I am from Zambia. Me and my wife are from Zambia, and we have three beautiful children, all born here at DTS. So we call them the class of 2048. So I work with the IT web team. Louis is one of my teammates here, so glad that he could make it. I've been building websites for about 19, 20 years, worked on different platforms, seen technology change, so I'm excited to bring the little I can here, and hopefully you can walk away with a comprehensive understanding of what it takes to develop a website for your ministry. So we're basically going to touch on 5 or 6 different things. First of all, some foundational issues. Where do you begin? So we'll talk about domain names, what those are, web hosting, what that is, excuse me. We'll compare. There are many people that will come and say, I need a website, but what they really need is a strong social media presence before they have a website. So I wanted to talk through when do you need a site and when do you need social media and when do you use both of them together. We'll look at SEO, which is search engine optimization. We'll review 3 web development platforms, and then we'll do a little practical walkthrough using WordPress, just for exposure. So it's not a tutorial. It's not gonna teach you everything you need to know about WordPress, but it'll at least expose you to what is out there. So let's begin with the foundational issues. What is a domain name? It would be really awkward if you were giving someone the link to your site, and they ask you, how do I get to your website? And you say, okay, type in 192 dot dash 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 dot this. But it's easier to just give them a name. Go to dts.edu. That's easier to remember. That's what a domain name is. It's a unique name. It is very suggestive of what you do. It tells people basic details about who you are, and it's a lot easier than giving them numbers. So that's how they can get to your website. That's a domain name. And how do you get a domain name? Well, I would assume if you came to a point where you needed a site, you would have some type of name in mind. myministry.org. All right, the next step would be to go to a domain registrar. There are several companies that are tasked with just registering domain names. And the first thing you would do is to see if that name is available. And if it is, you would pay a certain amount of money. And you don't necessarily own that domain name, you're actually renting that name, which is why you're paying an annual fee for it. And the moment you stop paying for it, what do? They delete your domain name. You don't have it anymore. So it's a misconception that you own it, you actually rent it. And so that domain registrar, if that name is available, are gonna rent that to you and you will be paying an annual fee. Those fees are different, but they're in the realm of $5 to $12, depending on what company you are working with. So the domain name is going to mask that web server address so that you're easier to find. Now you'll notice that there are several types of domain name extensions, most common being .com, .org, and so on and so forth. All those serve a unique purpose. Now the lines are a little blurred among those, but when these were first introduced, they were serving a very specific purpose. So .com was for more commercial purposes. And nonprofits would lean more towards a .org, .edu, reserved for educational institutions, .gov, very specialized for the US government. And you notice that some are actually country specific, .uk, .de for Germany, and so on and so forth. And so as you are picking an extension, you want to bear in mind that that extension is very suggestive of what you do. And so for ministries, nonprofits, typically we lean to .org, but that doesn't preclude, the .org, the .coms, and so on and so forth. There are some that are exclusive, like .museum, for instance. You can be a church with a .museum extension. That is reserved for museums. All right. I know you see there's a lot of those. We call those top-level domains. You won't need to remember that, just to know that there are different types of extensions. Why does a good domain name matter? First of all, that's your brand. That's how people recognize who you are. Microsoft.com, you know exactly who you're dealing with. But notice that domain in front of you in that picture. Would that suggest anything to you at all? No, it wouldn't. And someone wouldn't even remember it. And so you want something that is easy to remember. You want something that has a trust factor to it. Don't say, I'll hack your site.com. Well, you're not going to get any visitors to your site. And a good name also gives better results when it comes to search engine optimization and people just finding you. So once you're done with the domain name stuff, now you're dealing with web hosting. And sometimes it's difficult to distinguish the two because many of these companies do both. They can register your domain and host your website. But those are two different services. You do not have to host with the domain registrar. You can host with anybody else. Hosting is basically you renting space on someone else's server. That's where your files are going to reside. And everybody that's trying to access your site is actually going to be accessing that server space that you have. That's what a web host does. And so there are a lot of things to put into consideration when you're picking who is hosting your site. Not all hosts are made equal. Some will offer a 93% uptime. What they're saying is that in a year, your site will most likely be down 7% of the time. Some will guarantee a 99% uptime. And typically will cost more. Just depends. So make sure you keep that in mind as you consider a web host. Look at the reviews and see how they treat their customers. When trouble comes and your site is hacked, something goes wrong, your links are broken, you don't know what's happening, are they going to be there to give you the help that you need? So not all web hosts are created equal. You would need to do considerable research to make sure you know who to trust. So you want to make sure their customer support, tech help is on point. Many offer 24/7 tech support. The uptime and reliability factors, and they offer different features. Our walkthrough is going to be in WordPress, so if you're interested in WordPress, there'll be hosts that will tell you that we offer free WordPress installations. I would seriously consider that web host. And the cost. So you want to shoot for a balance between features, cost, uptime, and tech support as well. When should you use a website, and when should you just stick with social media? Well, your website is basically like your office space. You control your message, you control the structure of how you present your message, you control your brand. You basically have full control of your content. Whilst on social media, you do not have control over how your message is presented. You can design a banner and post it on Facebook, but you can't tell Facebook to say, put my banner on the left side or on the right side of your webpage. They own, they have the authority to do what they want to do. The content you post on social media is not yours. You're basically giving it to the social media company, while the content on your site is yours. However, social media is going to be great at drawing engagement from your audience, from bringing in visitors who you can then point to your website if you have one. So websites will offer more options for accessibility, for mobile use, for adding helpful tools, while social media won't do that. But social media will help you engage with your audience. Another important thing to consider is search engine optimization. Basically, how easily can your audience find you using a search engine? So if I search for something related to, for example, DTS, if I search for, I don't know, Seminary Dallas, is DTS going to pop up first, or will some other institutions pop up before them? And there are several factors that play into just how easily your site is found. Most basically is how accessible your content is, how clear your messaging is, because these search engines will use different algorithms that are relevant, to your type of content, though just different ways of how people can find sites. And so there's a great deal of information when it comes to search engine optimization, but bear in mind that when your text is clear on your site, when your purpose is actually very clear, your site becomes easier to find. And of course, there are several other factors and tools that you can employ to make sure that you get up on those rankings as well. I won't go into details on that, just share some best practices. Use clear, brief titles. Meta descriptions are basically, I'll call them like search tags. When someone searches for seminary, is your seminary, or if someone searches for church, will your church be on that list? So you have to include that tag to the metadata of your site. That way you can rise up in those rankings. Write original content, relevant content, and so on and so forth. And use tools, Google Analytics, Yoast search engine optimization tools, and there are several others that will help the rankings of your site. Now, what goes into choosing a platform? Because there are quite literally thousands of web development platforms. I'm only going to talk about three, which are three of the most popular platforms that exist right now. Wix, if you have zero development experience, you are a true beginner, and you have no interest in learning how to code, or how to customize and all of that, Wix is the place to go. Wix is quite literally drag and drop. You don't worry about search engine optimization. You don't have control over it. They have their own algorithms on search engine optimization. All right, so if you want something simple, all-in-one, easy design, little tech hassles, Wix is for you. WordPress on the other hand, is very customizable. And it has tons of plugins. Plugins are little programs that people all over have written that do specific tasks. For example, generating a contact form. And so all you need to do is find the right plugin and download. It's open source, so basically anyone can write plugins for WordPress. And so it's basically limitless on what you can do. However, it does have a lot of advanced features. There is a learning curve to it. You don't necessarily need coding skills, but those come in handy in difficult spots. But you don't really need coding skills, just the patience to learn how WordPress works. Squarespace will sort of be in between. It'll offer some flexibility. With Wix, the template you choose, that's how the template is going to be. You're not going to customize that template. Drag, drop your images there, and you're golden. With WordPress, you can customize everything. With Squarespace, you have some flexibility on how to customize. That's just a brief run through. There's a lot more details that you could go through. All to say, do your research, understand your skill level, how much time do you have, are you willing to learn, do you really want to customize, do you want something so specialized, or are you okay with existing templates? As far as our walkthrough, we're going to consider an example of a church. I'm calling that church my ministry. How original. What are some features that I would want to consider if I'm building a site for a church? Maybe it's a startup church. I might want to think about having sermons online, being that your membership or your viewership might not all be from within your location. May need to really clearly articulate my beliefs, some frequently asked questions, maybe have options for people to give, maybe have some features for a calendar, for events, some RSVP, some sign-up forms, some contact forms, maybe even some blogging features to engage with my visitors. And I've seen many churches have a prayer request button or page as well. Those are some things I would consider. But now I need to pay attention to, okay, I have my beliefs articulated. I have my core values. I have all these features that I want to see. What's the next step? All right? Choose your platform. All right? If I'm not too picky with templates, Wix, everything is sorted out. But if I want to really customize it to my liking, then I'll probably want to consider something like WordPress. Within WordPress, you can choose from thousands of templates as well, but you have the power to customize all of them. All right, so we are going to do a little run through right now. We are running out of time, but we'll do this quickly. What you see on the left side, or my left, I guess would that be your left too? The picture without the color there is a wireframe. So I've put what's in my head onto paper. This could be done using a plain paper, could be done using a software. I have it in my mind. I know what I want to see on my page. Now let me put it down on paper. That's what that picture on the left is. And we want to move from that to what's on the right side, actually bring it to life. That's what the walkthrough is gonna be. And so I'm going to escape out of this window and take you to my ministry. It's on a local server. Basically, what I've done is I've turned my laptop into a server for the site. So we would typically do that for development purposes. And when I'm done designing the site, I can migrate it to my web host. So right now I haven't registered for any domain. This is all happening on this server right here. This is what a WordPress environment would look like. Your first encounter would be this dashboard that you see. Welcome to WordPress. All right, you want to learn more about it? Go ahead. And your navigation is on your left side. Everything you want to do, your posts, your pages, and so on and so forth. Everything's going to be on the left side. What do I want to do first? Oh, I would like to see what I can get for free. So I'll take you to Appearance and go to Themes. What I've referred to as templates, WordPress will refer to as themes. You see 7 themes. Some of these came with the installation by default. But if I wanted to see more, I could just say add, and you can scroll for days to try to find what best fits your ministry needs. The beauty is I could also click on details, and some of these won't give you a proper preview, but some of them will give you a complete preview. Let me see if I can find one of those pretty quickly. I think this one's a good example. It's basically showing you with this template, with this theme, this is basically what your site is going to look like if you don't customize it beyond that. Okay, so you could pick something that is closest to what you're looking for to reduce how much you need to customize. But if you find one that actually is like, wow, this is exactly what I'm looking for and it's free, well, just go on and install it. Notice it says install up there. You'll install it. It'll give you this. Go back to your dashboard, and you're set to begin. But of course, I chose the hard way. Within WordPress, because it's so customizable, I wanted to design my own template. All right. So I already sort of began the design. I created some pages that I think I'll need on my site. In the dashboard, the option says Pages, Add Page. So I clicked on Add Page. Asked me to add a title. Then let's call this Prayer. Oops, that's not how you spell prayer. I can save that page. I'll go ahead and publish it since it's on my local server. If you're working from a site that's already online, please don't publish it, otherwise it goes live. Okay, so publish my page. Now I am using a plugin called Elementor, which is a web builder. You don't have to use it. You can build in WordPress itself, but I opted to go the easier route. So within WordPress, I want to have a page builder that will make my life easier, since I'm creating a template or a theme from scratch. And so that's why that option is there to edit with Elementor. It offers me so many tools, so many features that I can use. And notice that my template, which sort of matches my image from earlier, I've just altered the colors a little bit. My template for that page appears, and it gives me space to add content for that page. Now I can have a live preview of the page. So I added a page called prayer, but notice it's not appearing on the menu at the top, and I want it to appear on the menu at the top. So what I would do then is go back to my dashboard. WordPress makes it possible for you to create as many menus as you need. So I'll go to Appearance, go to Menu, and I created a main navigation menu. What I want to do is add the page that I created to that menu. So my prayer page has been added, but I would like it to come before the contact. And then I'll save that menu. Just by doing that, my prayer button appears on the menu. So whenever I click there, it's going to send me to my prayer page, which I created within WordPress. I've lost track of time here, forgive me, but all right. So let's quickly add one or two elements to, let's say, our home page. So we have the home here. I'm just going to say edit with Elementor. Let's just add the top section. We'll add some text, we'll add an image and a button, and we'll be done. Because I'm using Elementor, I want to start by adding a container. A container is basically what it suggests it is. It's just what's going to hold your content. Within that container, I would like to have, let's say, 2 columns. All right. There are several ways of doing that. Before I added the container, I could have just clicked on this plus button and try to find an outline, that matches what I'm looking for. I could have just done that, but I've chosen the harder thing to do. So I'll just duplicate my container. Actually, let me do that. Let me do this first. I'll delete the container. I've just realized I want to do this differently. I've added a container within my main container. The reason I'm doing that is because if I wanted to add to have 2 different colors for my background for different sections on my site, I want to have control over those bigger containers. And so I want to maintain that control. Now I'm just going to duplicate my the containers inside and make sure those are side by side. Now I have two columns here. So I'll put text in one and I'll put an image in the other, and I think we'll call it a day. Click on my ad there. What am I looking for? I'm looking for a heading. What do I want that heading to say? Maybe welcome. Oops, that's not how you spell welcome. Sorry, I have a tough time typing when I'm standing. Now you can't see the text because it's like the color of the background, so I'm going to go on my styling option there and change the color to my secondary color. Or maybe my text color, sorry. All right. Well, it's not cooperating with me. So let's try that again. Oops. I should be changing the color, not the, where are we? Something should say color. There we go. That's what I was looking for, text color. Let's go for our secondary color. Now you see my welcome message there. I want to add some subtext under that. I'm going to go for my text editor, just exposing you to what is possible. It's going to give me some, random text there, which I can edit on this side of the screen. I'll leave that as is. Now I want to put an image on the right side on the second column. All I do is search for my image tool. We'll add an image there, and I can choose the image. Either upload an image from within WordPress if I've already uploaded images, or upload it from my computer. So we'll search for an image, and I believe I have an image here already prepared. Where are we? Well, it would help if I could view what is happening here. There we go. Choose an image, select, and I have an image on the side. So I can do pretty much whatever I want to do with the available tools that I have, and there's so many of them. It would take you months to learn what each of those tools has to offer. And Elementor is not the only page builder you can use within Elementor. Elementor has a free and a paid version, but there are other web page builders which are completely free to use within Elementor. And you don't need to use a page builder. You can use WordPress's native features. So I'm going to publish what we have here, however imperfect it is. I'm going to go to my ministry. I'm assuming it's myministry.org. And whatever I put in my editor appears on my page. So hopefully this is giving you some understanding of when you say customization, basically that's what I'm talking about. I can dictate where that image goes, where that text goes, what the text looks like. Is it boldface? Is it semi-bold? Is it so on and so forth? It's not just drag and drop. I have control over the minute details. I could change my header. I could change how my menu appears. I could change how my footer appears and whatever is on there. So it just takes a lot more to learn how to do all of that. But once you get familiar with it, it's pretty easy to do. All right. Well, I'm grateful for your time. Thank you so much.
Well, we hope this talk was helpful. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you at the next one.